Good evening. Welcome to a special Friday night. It's an average Friday night in the life of Wimbledon. Of course, tomorrow is our first game at Plough Lane, and as you can see, our roving reporter, no, I'm joking, our Don's Trust Sport, Luke McKenzie, is at Plough Lane. Luke, good evening.
Good evening, Stu. Hi, George.
Cool. So, thank you very much to Luke in terms of, I sprung this on him literally about an hour ago and just said, if we could do something from Plough Lane, it'd be great. So thankfully Luke is still there, and we're going to do a little bit of sort of what's going to be happening tomorrow, Luke, isn't it, in terms of where everything's at and that sort of side of it.
Yeah, I guess it's the main thing of this tonight is just to run through the ticketing bit tomorrow without going into details of how we've got here or the repercussions, but actually just what can we do and what will be expected of you tomorrow, and to collect your tickets and stuff like that.
Brilliant.
So
okay,
I'm going to start, if that's all right. Stu, you happy for me to just run through from now?
Of course, mate. I'm going to let you wander around Wimbledon.
Excellent. Right, so we'll start off from the Plough Lane entrance. So you've got Lidl's over there, the petrol station. This is the main entrance behind us.
Yep.
So I suppose just for generally, if you were coming in and you're sitting in the west stand right behind us, you just go up those two stairs. And if you're sitting in hospitality, then you'd walk through the doors towards the club shop under the big screen and take the door to the left the minute you get in there, and then that's where you can go in up to hospitality.
Yep.
But the most important thing tomorrow is going to be the ticketing situation. So as far as we can tell, there will be a fair few, anywhere between probably 800 to 1,500, possibly coming to need to pick up tickets. So there's several issues we obviously saw and had with the ticketing. So there's two big ones. One is the person who logged onto the system, could see their ticket, but it said unable to print or download. Yep. So they couldn't do anything. That's one of the biggest ones. Now, those tickets were sent out, but sadly didn't arrive for most people, as far as I can ascertain. I suspect a lot will land on the doorsteps tomorrow. However, those tickets have effectively now been cancelled. And the reason they've been cancelled is we don't know who's received them or not. Yeah. And it would be an absolute nightmare and to try and do otherwise. So what's happened is all those tickets have been cancelled. So anybody who receives a ticket through the post will effectively need to come and exchange it and pick up a new ticket. Okay. Does that make sense so far?
Yeah, it does, mate.
The other issue was the people who logged in, who have bought season tickets or tickets for tomorrow and just don't have anything in the ticketing system whatsoever, can't see their name, can't see the fact they bought a ticket, which is probably even more worrying. I think if I was a fan coming, I'd be going, oh my gosh, I'm not even on the system. Yeah. Don't worry, you are on the system. As long as you bought a ticket or got a season ticket, you will be on the system. So try not to worry, and there are processes in place. So what I'll do is I'm going to talk you through what happens if you're in those categories. Brilliant. I guess there's a little other category as well, which is people who have maybe downloaded the ticket but can't find it on their phone. Yep. So it's not in their download folder or whatever. So there's a few people that might be like that. You'd need to do the same thing as me. We've had a few people, we've had a few fans ask about what happens with tickets that they might want to upgrade. I don't know, you're bringing along your kid, but all of a sudden he's ill in the morning and you want to bring your best mate in. Yep. We're saying for this game only, go to the turnstiles and you'll be able to upgrade at the turnstile. So if you're going into the west stand up these stairs, then go into the west stand and you'll be able to upgrade at the turnstiles, okay? Normally you wouldn't do. Normally that would be done through the office, but obviously we don't want to inundate the office tonight.
Yep, okay. So, and would that be by cash, Luke, or would that be by card, or how would they upgrade the cost, or that not?
Just talk to the steward at the time.
Okay.
So, whatever.
No problem.
Come down. So this is the entrance down to Plough Lane, and this is down the side. So this is where you'll be going to collect your tickets, okay? So I'm just going to kind of walk down.
Sure. Don't fall over, Luke.
I'll tell you what, if you play your cards right, I might give you a sneak peek at the pub.
Pub? Is there a pub? Pub? You say pub?
Should I say the Phoenix? I feel like revealing the pub sign to you, but I kind of think I'm going to get in trouble and shot if I do it. No way.
You're going to give us an exclusive?
Give us an exclusive, Lukey. You know you want to.
I'm going to try and walk backwards, which is always a bit worrying.
This is going to be hilarious. Live TV.
These gates will be open.
Okay.
And then effectively you'll be queuing down the right-hand side of this wall. Okay.
Right. Okay.
So this side, you've got 10,000 volts from UKPN. Don't stick your hand through there, please, because you could kill yourself. So stay on this
Okay.
side. Okay.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
we'll walk down. And this will be signed anyway, so when you get here.
Yeah.
Right. So you'll get to this corner,
Yeah.
and then what you're going to do is go up here. And what we've got, if you can see, just look you. Okay?
Yeah.
So I'll just quickly snake it round. Move these barriers out the way. Right, so you're going to be queuing round, and then we've got some desks, as you can see. This is good. It's real live.
Annika Rice, eat your heart out. You're being compared to Annika Rice, Luke.
I like it.
You've had better compliments.
Hi, Joe, in the background. Say hello, Joe. There's Joe. Right, so we come round. So Annika Rice, challenge Annika. So you come round, and you've got the desk. There's going to be somebody standing here who's going to ask what your, I want to say what your issue is. That's a bit personal. But, you know, what's your problem? So we are going to have the desk here. So what's going to happen, this desk here, will be something like, and we haven't worked out, and bless Mandy in the morning, is going to be working out. Mandy's going to be here. Everybody loves Mandy. She's going to be running this. It's going to be her show. She's going to be
okay.
We'd have tickets, somebody like A to E, A to F, for example.
Yeah, we had it at the club before, haven't we?
G to whatever, you know, and X to Z at the end. We've also got at the end here, this is going to have a computer terminal and a ticket printer on. So that desk will be for people who haven't got access to their tickets, haven't even seen their tickets, can't find themselves on the system. Yeah. The guys there will be able to look on the laptops, pull off your ticket, season ticket details, and print your ticket there.
Okay.
If you are one of those people, that is going to take longer than just walking up to a desk and say, "Hi, my name's Stu Deacons, here's my ticket," and we go to the D desk, right? Because they're all going to be printed in the morning. So they will be ready for you to pick up. Okay. So that's going to be very, very quick. If you haven't got your ticket and you can't see your name on the system, please, please, please come early, because that's the bit we fear is going to take the longest time.
Yeah.
We genuinely don't know how many people are in that category, and we're hoping it's not a lot. We think the majority of people will just be here to pick up tickets.
Yeah, yeah. But obviously that's the longest queue, isn't it? So if they can get there early.
Yeah. So please get there early for that bit. Appreciate the fact it's not ideal, because we can't tell you how many tickets are going to be there or not. So we just don't know.
Cool. Okay.
Hoping that will be doable. So that's where we're at on that bit. What you've also got, as somebody else, and I'm just going to go on a bit of a tour now.
Happy days. We love that. We love that. You've got the freedom of the ground.
So this is the back end of the shop.
Yeah.
So this is basically under the West Stand, which is right above us.
Yeah.
And then at the bottom here, I'm going to show you a little sign.
Can't quite see that. Yeah, pub. Oh, there's a pub.
I told you there's a pub sign. That's not the real pub sign.
You're telling me that is the sign. You've basically been telling us it's exclusive and it's just pub.
I was going to show you a pub sign.
But then you saw Joe Palmer and thought better of it.
There's the pub sign coming.
Luke, you're such a tease, Luke.
Such a tease. Honestly, I'd take you into the pub, but if you can see what they're doing at the moment.
Paint.
Painted.
So this basically will be like, it'll be fresh. It'll be fresh smelling of paint.
It is fresh smelling of paint.
So you can't get much more newer than that, can you, mate?
So what happens when you're in the pub, there's the big staircase which will come down from the West Concourse, and then it'll come down into the pub, and you can come out, and you'll come out down this big staircase here. I'm being very careful not to show you the pub, because I think you'll actually call the surprise now.
It's only like,
And then you'll walk along here, which is the back of the West Stand, underneath the West Stand. And then you'll come out along the back of the South Stand, which was open for the test event. The Liverpool game, you could come out the back here. So there's obviously quite a lot of people on site. I think there's probably about 50 people still here, cleaning and getting everything ready. So they're doing loads of stuff. So you come here, all the concessions and the kiosks which are over there will be open. And then there's going to be on this side, they're clearing all this up tonight. There's going to be, that's where some of the food trucks and stuff like that.
Brilliant.
So that's that. So my big plea, please, if you're coming to pick up a ticket, the earlier the better, just because we don't want people turning up at 2:30 and having to do 500 people.
Definitely. And
if you can't get here, you can't get here. You know, if you can only get here at 2:30, you can only get here at 2:30.
Yeah.
I mean, it is what it is. And
yeah.
You know.
Just to remind us, it opens at 11 o'clock tomorrow, the queue. But
so the ticket queue opens ticket queue opens at 11.
Yeah.
But the ground doesn't open till 1, so you won't be able to get in.
But I'm guessing if people want to get there early to be at the front of the queue, if you know they're going to be one of the ones that potentially could be longer wait ones, they can queue earlier from 10:30, assuming, or
I guess so. Yeah. I mean, it's
if you know you're going to be if you know you're going to be one of the ones that potentially could be the longer, then obviously the earlier you get there. And there's loads of stuff around the area. You've got CAF, you've got Lidl's, you can go do a bit of shopping in Wicks, whatever you fancy to do, and you can then wait till 1 o'clock or even wait.
There was a moment earlier when Mr. J. Palmer had to walk over to Wicks, buy a circular saw or a jigsaw, I think it was a jigsaw, and actually start cutting something out. So there we go.
What a place! See, that's where the ground's good, mate.
So South Stand, seat, block. What are we in? South Stand, F1. Decent seat here, I'll tell you. Decent view. Not that you'll be sitting because this is the standing, isn't it? But yeah, that's the.
God, it's like Christmas Eve, mate, isn't it? It's like Christmas Eve.
Isn't it just? So.
And it's gonna be fun. Luke, I appreciate your, you got to get home and stuff like that, mate. I really appreciate that. Don't sit down, mate. You can't sit down there.
Might fall asleep. You might find in the morning.
Yeah, Luke will be the first person in the ground tomorrow because he won't leave it.
Actually, I did have something else to show you, Stu, as well.
Okay.
This is quite important, so I'll just walk up.
No problem.
Yeah.
Joe, it's interesting, was it? Quarter to 9, and I'm just thinking, obviously, for Gillingham game, would the floodlights need to be on? They will, won't they?
Because Can't
wait for the midweek game
under lights will be amazing.
Steve Evans, not there.
I tell you what, bring your rear defenders as well, because the PA, I know there was loads of complaints that people couldn't hear the PA.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, it was loud today.
Yeah, I was fine where I was. On the balcony, I was fine, mate.
Well, I'll tell you what, if you live in one of those flats,
you're not getting early night.
We might have to turn it down on a midweek game. Right, so what's really important, just the other thing, is the West Stand. So, this way. West Stand concourse.
Yeah.
So there's a big bit that you can't stand in and have a drink, which is when you just come in.
Yeah.
There are some turnstile program bits up here. Let me just quickly go.
Okay. Yeah.
So
it's actually cashless, isn't it, tomorrow as well? Just to remind people.
Yeah. So predominantly cashless.
Yeah. Or you can get a voucher, can't you?
We're just testing things at the moment, so nothing's decided. This is exactly what it's meant to do on the tin. It's a test event.
Yeah.
We're testing how it works.
Yeah, definitely.
So there's some programs on here. I don't know whether they're staying there. I presume they are.
Yeah, okay.
Right, but then, so this is the important bit. Oh, sorry, I'm knackered.
I know, mate. And it ain't easy being Annika Rice, is it? See, she's old now.
It's not. And she'd get a helicopter home as well, right?
Yeah, don't trust that. Where would you land it?
Yeah. Right, here we go. So, if you remember, for anybody who's in the West Stand for the test event, there's a problem with drinking in sight of the pitch, and we had the little yellow hatch-ins in front of the doorways. They didn't work, and we need to do something better. So we have, tomorrow, some temporary screens.
Cool, okay, that makes sense.
So basically, you kind of need to walk around every scene.
Yeah. That makes perfect sense, because obviously, and that's why we've got test events, Luke, isn't it? To test what happens. So that makes perfect sense.
And these are temporary solutions, right? These aren't here permanently. It's literally to say, does this work as they are? And if it does, then we can have a design concept, where we can have maybe a concertina wall type of thing to pull out.
The main question, Luke, is obviously that everyone wants to know is, will we have chicken balti pies tomorrow?
Dude, they're on the menu.
Oh, mate, they are special. They are special. £4.50. I would pay more. I'm tight, that's quite a statement for me. But the chicken balti pies were absolutely amazing. Loved them.
Yeah, my wife said the same. I had a sausage roll, and that was pretty banging.
Yeah, that's not a sausage. That's not a normal sausage roll, by the way. That is Luke, brilliant. Thank you very much, mate. I will let you get home. Thank you very much for doing this. I really appreciate it.
I think.
Cool. Look, Luke, I'll let you go.
Gents.
Thank you very much.
Everybody.
See you tomorrow.
Cheers,
Yeah.
bye.
Take
Bye.
care. Okay, so just while Luke is letting us go, we will look at that. That was quite smooth, Stu. Do you know what? That's got me really excited. Luke's knackered. He's going to have to go and sit down for a bit. We're going to stay on probably till 9 o'clock latest because I've literally got in from work and had no dinner and I'm going to fade away otherwise. And then it's me talking about blooming chicken balti pies. That's not clever at all.
Could that possibly have been a hint towards Lorraine about what you're expecting for dinner this evening?
No, we've got pork chops tonight. Pork chops? Yeah. So, George... So let's just recap from where Luke is. So main important thing is tomorrow, 11 o'clock, you can queue up. You can probably get there earlier. I think, obviously, they're not, and I understand, they're not aware of how many people sit in certain categories. But if you're one of the people, and correct me, George, if I'm wrong, so obviously this information is quite all new. If you're one of the ones that doesn't show on the system, and you've got a ticket but it's not shown on there, you're probably more likely to get there early because we don't know how many people affect that. So if it does affect the high hundreds, you want to be there earlier rather than later to obviously impact on that. Is that right, George?
Yeah, so as Luke said, there's a couple of different categories for people who have had issues on the ticketing system. There are some whose tickets haven't arrived, so as a result, they should be fairly quite quick. It should be just to go up, say their name, collect their pre-printed ticket from Mandy and then go. So still get there early if you can, but it should be a speedy process. But the long process is for those who are not on the system or who appear to have vanished from the system, because obviously that's a longer process to look them up and then to print off any ticket. So if you're one of those, please make every effort to get there extra early. And like Luke said, they will be there open from 11 o'clock. So please try and arrive as close to that as possible and then go off and drink somewhere else. The ground doesn't open until 1 o'clock. But please try and get there early because the last thing we need is massive queues and people getting a bit agitated outside come 2:30 or 3 o'clock.
Yeah, and look, do you know what? We're not gonna sit here and pretend that nothing's it's not been ideal, and we can. I think the inquest and stuff like that will go on, and we can obviously try and look at what went wrong and try to resolve it. But I think tomorrow is not really about a day of it's a celebration. It's still a test event. Yeah. It's first game of the season. It's first home league game of the season against Bowl Wanderers. It's a league game. Obviously, try and get to the ground. Let's be honest. We've had a test event with 2,000, a second test event with 4,500 to 4,500. But also, let's remember also that this is sold out. It's got away fans. So if the club were ever going to pick an event to test, this would not be it, and we wouldn't have picked a situation where the ticket obviously hasn't happened. So. Please get there early. Remember, if your post arrives in the morning and you have your ticket, that is not to be used. You will not get in. So please don't think you get it. Okay, I can get there for 1 o'clock, 1:30. You can't use it.
But please do bring it. If you are in that situation, please do bring your ticket for the ticket collection so you can exchange it, because that will help speed things up when you have to collect your new printed ticket. So if you had your ticket posted out, if it does arrive either today or tomorrow morning before you set out, please do bring it to the ground because it will help them to make sure that you get your right ticket in a speedy fashion.
Yeah, definitely. Stu Stone, hello mate. So yeah, obviously I know you're coming down from Doncaster, aren't you? Well, you had a home game. You had a home game last week. What are you moaning about? Anyway, praise God I don't get held up as 4 scene tickets. Yeah. So obviously, you've got a long journey down there. If you're one of the ones, Stu, that obviously doesn't, you got tickets, but it's not showing on the system, I would say, get down here earlier, but you don't be leaving it. Well, you might as well leave now. So yeah, obviously get down here. The thing is, for people like Stu and stuff like that, if you are local and you can get down, into the queue at 10:30, I don't want you sort of camping out. It's not Wimbledon tennis. But the earlier you can get down there, if you know that you're potentially one of those ones that has tickets and doesn't show on the system, then potentially that is going to be the longer one. If you're just literally coming to collect a ticket that should have arrived in a post and hasn't, or outside of it, then it's potentially a quick pick up and you can go and stuff like that. So if we are, let's be fair, 800 to 1,500 people is a lot of people to be queuing up. So if we can get that queue moving as quick as possible, and one thing I would just say, this wasn't a deliberate mistake. It's happened. We can't do nothing about it now, but we are going to have a lot of people who are going to be serving, getting tickets. They're going to be anxious as well. It's also the first game for them. A lot of them are fans. So I think, the calmer we stay tomorrow, and I know that's easier said than done, then please, if we stay calm, then we get it done, and then we can go and enjoy the game.
And that's the thing. I would say, like we said, that queue opens at 11. It's going to be manned by Mandy and a group of volunteers. So please be patient with them. This isn't any of their fault. So let's make sure that none of that goes wrong. And also, today and tomorrow isn't about the inquest, like we've discussed, and like Luke mentioned. There will be an inquest into what's happened and led us to doing this tonight and tomorrow. Today and tomorrow isn't about that. We cannot focus on that. Let's try and make the best of it as we can. Make sure we deal with the queuing, make sure everyone stays calm, gets there in a good time, make sure we can all get in and enjoy the game as much as we can, and then worry about what's led us to this day later on in the week when we can deal with it and decide what has to happen.
Yeah, let's remember, it's a test event, and we've got, 1,400 Bolton fans coming in. Yeah, it's a perfect storm, isn't it? And I think the more we, as fans, we've been waiting God knows how long for this, so... let's get into the ground. Matt, yes, as long as the beer is chilled. I don't know what beer was in there, but I know there was also Woodland Brewery, isn't there? There was an announcement today, wasn't there? A link up with them.
There's a couple of pop-up breweries and a couple of pop-up food outlets that are going to be open in the fan zone behind the south stand, and anybody in either the west, south, or east stand will be able to access those. And that should be the place where everyone's able to collect, and that'll be open from 1 o'clock. So. Get their collect your tickets early, try and get into the ground, go into the pub, which will be really fresh. It's still being finished this evening by the sound of things. Go to the fan zone, experience all of these great things. And let's try and make it as the best as we can out of, what is our homecoming and 30 years in the making. Yeah,
and it's an all-nighter for a lot of people at the club. So, the pub is being worked on at the moment. So, yes, we've been long waiting for this pub, but, let's try and enjoy it. But remember, like I say, key points are tomorrow. If you know that you're not on the system, but you got a ticket, please make arrangements to get there early. Yeah. Go on.
I would also say on the ticketing system, please note as soon as you get your tickets, please make sure you check what entrance you are, what gate you're going in, because they are different to the test events. Everybody in the west stand has to go through the southwest corner up those stairs that Luke showed us. If you're in the south stand, you have to go in through the southeast corner. If you're in the east stand, you have to go in through the north-south street on the east side of the ground. So please pay attention to what entrance you have to go through and try and get through there as early as you can. But I said, all of these things are different to previous test events. But the more prepared everyone is and knows where they're going, the smoother this will run.
Cool. So like I say, we're going to wrap up. So let me just quickly go through to clarify. If you're not a person that's got a ticket but it isn't showing on the system, please make arrangements to be at the ground at least for 11 o'clock. So you're first in the queue, because that's likely to take longer than... We understand that people have got plans to go and celebrate, get a drink and stuff like that. But please, if you can, just for this game, it's one game, test event. If you can get there early, that way we can make sure that people like Stuart Stone that's travelling from Doncaster, and people that there's a lot of people that don't live locally. If you know that your ticket is available because it was sent out and hasn't arrived, then that's likely to be a quicker turnaround. But again, please don't think leaving it to 1 o'clock means that we're going to have potentially 9,000 fans around the ground, which is going to be very difficult. Also, if your ticket arrives tomorrow morning, it is no longer valid. So please don't go to the turnstiles thinking you can get there for 1:30 and go in turnstile. You won't. You'll be turned away back into that queue, which could be very long. So please remember, even if it turns up tomorrow morning, you is not able to use.
Yeah. I would say, especially if you are one of those people, because we all know a lot of people are planning on going and drinking in Wimbledon or Earlsfield tomorrow to celebrate this homecoming. If you do need to get your ticket, please try and get there for 11 o'clock, collect your ticket, and then go elsewhere to drink before coming back to the ground later, rather than leaving it and trying to get to the ticket at 2 o'clock, 2:30. Because Luke said we'll have anywhere between 800 and 1,500 people trying to collect tickets. And if they all come at 2 o'clock, 2:30, there's going to be a lot of trouble. So please, everyone, get there as early as you can, and then go off and drink and do whatever else we're doing to celebrate this momentous occasion.
Yeah, and like I say, we know that people are going to want to do that, and we know from Kings Meadow we could turn up at 2:30 and get in there, but this isn't Kings Meadow. This is our new home, and it's going to have 9,500 people in tomorrow. And we all know, let's be fair, you go there on a Saturday morning, if you go there on a Saturday, normal Saturday, Plough Lane is heaving. So let's just be aware of that. It's a test event. It's the first time it's been sold out, and unfortunately we didn't need a situation like this, but we all need to be in this together, and then hopefully we can enjoy another 3 points and 3 out of 3, George, which not going to talk about football tonight because obviously that's really that's for tomorrow. The main important thing is people get their tickets, can get in the ground and get a chicken balti pie. Trust me, chicken balti pie is amazing. Once you've queued up, have a pint, have a drink. I may even have a drink tomorrow. I think I might need one by the time we finish this on that one. Okay, look, we're going to shoot off now because I need to go and put the pork chops on. Special thank you to Luke McKenzie, who's been at the ground all day and kindly stayed around when I literally bugged him about an hour and a half ago just to make sure we can clarify that. So thank you very much, Luke. Have a safe journey home, or if you've fallen asleep, hey, look, you're first in the ground. You're going to beat George, because George, of course, will be there before anybody else. George, what time planning tomorrow?
I'll be getting there bright and early tomorrow morning.
Cool. Look, as we say, if we all work together, we know. Hey, look, we can all moan about what's happened and stuff like that. We can all moan about that. There's no point. We can't change it. What we can do is influence tomorrow to make sure that everybody has a great day. Robbo and a team get a great lift off, and we get 3 points ready for, well, promotion contenders. I'm joking, Robbo, in case you're watching. George, thank you very much for joining me, mate.
Thank you.
There have been a few things about you need to dye your head. Rob Boyce want George to dye his beard tomorrow like Waggy. Hashtag make it happen. Nah, Waggy got slaughtered for that, to be fair, mate, on that one. And what's this one here? Keith Buddy and the boys are back in town. Please play as a team walk out. Well, Luke did say that the PA is absolutely, absolutely. Yeah, they might have to turn it down. Sorry, someone's just putting about chicken balti pie. I've just got to have a quick look at this. I didn't want to go in, but who's talking? Chicken balti pasta is better. Pasty. Okay. I'll give you that. But like I say, thank you very much. Enjoy tomorrow. We're back on Sunday, hopefully celebrating another 3 points. George, thank you very much. And
thank you.
Good night.
Good night.
Hello.
Hello.
Well, it looks like it might actually be working.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to the 9 Years podcast.
Oh, well, no, don't joke with me that we're live. Oh, wow. I'm very sorry, everybody. We were miles away. We were pondering this defeat. I can't talk today. People are just rubbishing it because it's never going to happen. And I'll bet my mortgage, my life, everything I have that Neil Ardley will not go to Notts County.
Interesting.
Apparently, they've had 18 stays of